Very good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Aishwarya with you. All the biggest news stories from India and across the world coming up in the next 30 minutes. First up, a look at the top headlines. Ahead of the start of budget session of Parliament from tomorrow, government says it is ready to discuss all issues. All party meet to be held today. Lok Sabha Speaker to also meet party leaders in the evening. European Parliament debates anti-CAA motion. European Commission highlights EU's rich, frank and open relationship with India. France calls out Pakistan's role behind tabling the motion. Voting on the motion postponed till March. WHO meet to declare coronavirus a global health emergency. In China, death toll rises to 170 as virus spreads to more regions. Nation remembers Mahatma Gandhi on his 72nd death anniversary. President, Vice President, Prime Minister to offer prayers at Rajghat. And European Parliament backs terms of UK's exit from the European Union, ratifies the Brexit withdrawal agreement by 621 votes to 49. UK to formally leave the European Union on Friday. With the budget session of Parliament commencing on Friday, the government has convened an all-party meeting today to ensure smooth transaction of business in both houses of Parliament. An all-party meeting has also been convened by the Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla today. During the meeting, the Speaker will seek the support of different political parties for the smooth conduct of business in the lower house. And Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu is also scheduled to hold an all-party meeting tomorrow. All right, let's get all the updates. Our colleague Kriti Mishra is now joining us live. Very good morning, Kriti. Kriti, we had seen in the last two sessions how successful these two sessions were. It was historic in a way, the way, the bills were passed and the kind of productivity that we saw. That has, of course, set the bar high. And ahead of the budget session of Parliament now, there are key meetings that are being held. Tell us more.
Well, absolutely, Aishwarya. So important meetings have been convened ahead of the budget session, both by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha as well as by the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha and also by the government, which is the Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi. Now, remember, talking about the productivity, in the last session, the productivity of the Lok Sabha was around 116%. In fact, several important bills were passed, and as far as the Rajya Sabha is concerned, year 2019 ended on a high note, marking a break from the disruptive preceding years. So, in fact, in the Rajya Sabha, 52 bills were passed in 65 sittings, which turns out to be a productivity of 0.80%, which means 4 bills in 5 days. So certainly a very productive session of the Rajya Sabha we saw, and it was perhaps for the first time that in the two consecutive sessions, the productivity of the Rajya Sabha was more than 100%. Now, the government has already said that it is ready to discuss and debate and disperse all issues. The opposition would like to up their ante against the government on several issues, but the government has expressed willingness to discuss all the issues on the floor of the House. So the government hoping to maintain the momentum in order to ensure that this session also turns out to be productive, because several important bills are on the agenda of the government, including the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Amendment Bill. There's also Coal and Mining Amendment Bill. So certainly important bills, including the financial bills that will be taken up in the budget session. Over to you, Aishwarya.
Kriti, thank you so much for all those updates there on the budget session that commences from Friday. And the Union Cabinet on Wednesday approved the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Amendment Bill 2020. The amendments propose that the upper limit for permitting abortions be extended from the present 20 weeks to 24 weeks. The extension will be for special category women, which would include rape survivors, victims of incest, differently abled women and minors. The bill amends the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 1971 and will be introduced in the upcoming budget session of Parliament.
महिलाओं के अधिकारों को सुनिश्चित करना, उसमें न्याय लाना जरूरी था और अपने देश में 20 सप्ताह के बाद गर्भपात होते थे वो इनफॉर्मल चैनल में होते थे, रिस्की होते थे और उसके कारण माता मृत्यु दर बढ़ता था। एक अनुमान ऐसा है कि 8% मौतें देश में माता मृत्यु दर में ये अनसेफ एबॉर्शन करने से होती है।
The Union Cabinet also approved proposal for official amendments in the National Commission for Indian System of Medicine Bill 2019. Now, this bill is aimed at ensuring necessary regulatory reforms in the field of Indian system of medical education. Official amendments in the National Commission for Homeopathy Bill 2019 were also approved. The amendments will ensure necessary regulatory reforms in the homeopathy education and promote the availability of affordable healthcare services in all parts of the country.
होम्योपैथी और इंडियन मेडिकल सिस्टम, ये चारों व्यवस्थाओं में यूनानी और सिद्ध, इसके कॉलेजों में अच्छी गुणवत्ता बरकरार रहे, अच्छी बढ़े और बढ़े, उच्च गुणवत्ता की शिक्षा हो, उच्च गुणवत्ता की परीक्षा इम्तिहान हो, अच्छे संस्थाओं को एक्रीडेशन मिले, सीटें बढ़ा सकते उनकी, और उसके साथ साथ सामाजिक न्याय के रूप में 50% सीटें की जो फीस तय करना है उसका भी अधिकार मेडिकल कमीशन को मिलेगा।
And in some other decisions, the Union Cabinet gave its nod for the allocation of 30% of funds of the North Eastern Council for new projects. This is for focused development of deprived areas, neglected sections of society and emerging priority sectors.
अभी तक 60% राज्यों के प्रोजेक्ट में लगते थे, 40% रीजनल प्रोजेक्ट में लगते थे। अब ये 30% की व्यवस्था से एक सरलीकरण हो जाएगा, काम की गति बढ़ेगी और जिन वर्गों को और जिन क्षेत्रों को विकास का अवसर नहीं मिलता था वो मिलेगा और नई आवश्यकताएं जो सामने आएगी उसके लिए भी वित्त उपलब्ध होगा।
On to some other news. A retired joint secretary in the Finance Ministry, a Supreme Court advocate, a freelance journalist, retired newsreaders and a yoga teacher, a community radio activist and students are among those engaged as consultant interpreters in the Rajya Sabha Secretariat. The latest empanelment is part of an exercise undertaken after a direction from Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu to ensure simultaneous interpretation service in all the 22 scheduled languages. With Wednesday's empanelment, 32 consultant interpreters have now been enlisted for 7 languages. These include Dogri, Konkani, Kashmiri, Sindhi and Santhali. Rajya Sabha Secretary General Deshdeep Vakwarma presented the certificates of empanelment to these 13 persons engaged as consultant entrepreneurs for Kannada, Marathi and Konkani languages. Instead of recruiting full-time interpreters, the Secretariat has hired consultant interpreters who will be engaged on need basis.
We are not giving it as a job. We are only wanting to add some color, some quality to your life and also add some color and some quality to our own Rajya Sabha deliberations. Like last time when the chairman announced that the person who is doing the interpretation is a student. It was appreciated by everybody. It was an applause in the house.
Immediately I knew how challenging this is going to be because it's not your interpretation. You have to interpret simultaneously with the person, whoever is speaking. And I said, oh my God, this is a challenge, so I'm going to accept it.
As a consultant बनने के लिए तो ये मुझे बहुत ही हार्ड लग रहा था कि मैं कर पाऊँगा नहीं कर पाऊँगा। बाकी एक बात ये भी थी कि हाँ मैं कर ले जाऊँगा इसको।
A joint motion combining 5 different resolutions tabled by the members of European Parliament against India's Citizenship Amendment Act was debated at the plenary session in Brussels, with an expected vote on the motion postponed until March. Now, the debate opened with a statement by Helena Dalli, the Vice President of the European Commission and High Representative of the Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy. Now, she spoke strongly in favor of the rich, frank and open relationship the EU shares with India. She highlighted Prime Minister Narendra Modi's upcoming visit to Brussels in March for the 15th India-EU Summit. Two Indian-Norwegian MEPs, Dinesh Damija and Nina Gill, were among a host of members who spoke up in India's favour to point out the elements of disinformation around the CAA and the National Register of Citizens within the parliamentary motion. Now, French MEP Thierry Mariani alluded to the hand of Pakistan in the motion being tabled, while others condemned it as meddling in another country's internal affairs. The government has maintained that the CAA is an internal matter of our country and stressed that the goal is to protect the oppressed minorities of the neighbouring countries.
The President of the European Council and the President of the European Commission will host the Prime Minister of India for the 15th EU-India Summit on the 13th of March here in Brussels. We have with India a rich, frank and open dialogue on all issues of common interest, as well as on issues where we might have different perspectives. On this occasion, the Minister for External Affairs and Prime Minister Modi reaffirmed their strong interest for a deepened strategic partnership with the European Union. The issue which you are debating today was also part of the discussions, and the HRVP inquired about risks of discrimination among refugees and migrants on religious grounds under the revised legislation. We believe that it is the role of the Supreme Court of India to assess the compliance of the law with the Constitution. And we are confident that the ongoing judicial process will contribute to appeasing the tensions and violence witnessed over the past weeks in the country.
I really welcome that the vote has been postponed on the resolution. First, it's full of factual inaccuracies. Secondly, it is right that we take time to have a proper debate, and this House waits until the Supreme Court has deliberated on this. And one thing we have to recognise that India has a very strong civil society, and Indians are far more than capable of holding their executive to account without interference from those who know very little about it.
And on to the other top story that we are tracking this morning. In Assam, the cadres of all the four factions of the National Democratic Front of Bodoland will lay down arms in Guwahati today. NDA-FB signed a tripartite peace treaty with the centre and the Assam government recently in New Delhi. Assam Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal and State Finance Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma will attend the ceremony. As per the peace accord, 1,500 crore rupees financial package in the next 3 years will be given for the development of the Bodoland territorial region. Recently, the tripartite pact was signed, and it was the third Bodo Accord signed in the last 27 years. The Assam government has assured that the new treaty would not hamper the interest of the non-Bodo people staying in the BTC area. And now let's get you all the action from the upcoming Delhi Assembly polls. Well, continuing with our special election coverage of Delhi, we take a look at the key issues today facing South Delhi's Sangam Vihar constituency. Now, once a BJP bastion, the seat is now occupied by the Aam Aadmi Party, and this time it is witnessing a three-way contest with the candidates of Aam Aadmi Party, Congress and the BJP's allied JDU in the fray.
Located in South Delhi, the Sangam Vihar Assembly seat comes under the South Delhi Lok Sabha constituency and has over 1,64,000 eligible voters. The assembly seat came into existence in 2008 after the delimitation exercise of 2002. Sangam Vihar is one of the largest unauthorized colonies in the city-state and is plagued with issues like broken and waterlogged roads, overflowing drains and poor connectivity. Once a BJP domain, Sangam Vihar elected AAP's Dinesh Mohania in 2013 and 2015. Promising overall development of the area if re-elected, Mohania is seeking a third straight term from the seat.
हमारा रोड मैप ये है कि एक तो जो पिछले 5 साल में हमने काम किया है उसको लेके जनता के बीच जा रहे हैं कि देखिए जी ये काम संगम विहार में हुआ, जो दिल्ली के लेवल पे हुआ वो भी ठीक है, लेकिन संगम विहार में भी बहुत काम हुआ है। तो संगम विहार के जो लोकल लेवल पे काम है उसको भी लेके जनता के बीच में जा रहे हैं और ये कह रहे हैं कि जी अभी सारा काम नहीं हुआ है, सारा कुछ नहीं हो पाया, क्योंकि संगम विहार जैसी अनडेवलप्ड कॉलोनी में जहाँ कुछ भी नहीं था वहाँ काफ़ी काम करने के बाद भी काफ़ी काम करना और बाकी है। तो फिर आगे चलते हैं और जितना टाइम आप हमें देते हैं तो फिर हम और काम करेंगे, ये कह के जा रहे हैं।
The BJP has not fielded a candidate in this constituency. Instead, its ally JDU is fielding a candidate here under the seat sharing agreement. The party has fielded Dr. Shiv Charan Lal Gupta, who won this seat twice in 2008 and 2013 on a BJP ticket.
सबसे पहले तो इस क्षेत्र में रोड और नालियों का कार्य ऐसे किया जाएगा कि बिल्कुल साफ सुथरी रोड्स होंगी, नंबर 1। नंबर 2, इस विधानसभा में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है जो पब्लिक यूटिलिटी सिस्टम में हो। मैं यहाँ पर एक गर्ल्स स्कूल और एक मैटरनिटी अस्पताल फौरन खुलवाऊंगा। ज़मीन मैंने शूटिंग रेंज में खाली करवाई थी, हालांकि उस पे कब्जे शुरू हो गए हैं, लेकिन उन कब्जों को हटा के वहाँ पर एक अस्पताल और ये बनेगा।
The Congress, which has never won this seat, has fielded Poonam Azad. In 2003, Poonam Azad had contested against the then Delhi Chief Minister Sheila Dikshit on a BJP ticket from Gol Market. She quit the BJP in November 2016 to join the Aam Aadmi Party and later joined the Congress in April 2017.
सबसे पहले तो सड़क, फिर नाली, फिर जल और शिक्षा। ये यहाँ 12वीं की स्कूल भी नहीं है। ये हमारे पास अनुभव की कमी नहीं। हमें मालूम है हम यहाँ के वर्तमान विधायक और पूर्व विधायक की तरह नहीं है जो वोट लेके चले जाएंगे। हमारे पास अनुभव है काम करने की, इतना बड़ा एक्सपीरियंस है।
While a host of local issues are likely to decide the battle for Sangam Vihar, expectations of regular and clean supply of water is high among the residents. Bharat Singh Divakar's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
News from the JDU's camp, and Nitish Kumar's party on Wednesday expelled its Vice President Prashant Kishore and General Secretary Pawan Verma from the party. Both leaders were expelled for anti-party activities. In a statement, the party's Chief General Secretary K.C. Tyagi said that both Kishore and Verma were acting against party's decisions as well as its functioning, which amounted to breach of discipline. The party also accused Prashant Kishore of using insulting words against the Bihar Chief Minister. The top international focus that we are tracking, the nationwide death toll from China's novel coronavirus epidemic has now jumped to 170, with 38 more fatalities reported mainly from the worst affected central Hubei province. The Chinese government has also confirmed over 1,700 infections. China's National Health Commission said on Thursday that 7,711 confirmed cases of pneumonia caused by the novel coronavirus has been reported in 31 provincial regions. Meanwhile, a number of global airlines, including Air India, British Airways, Lion Air and Indigo Airlines, on Wednesday suspended their flights to Chinese cities. India, the US, the UK and Germany have already issued travel advisories against travelling to China. Beijing also has been asking Chinese travellers not to travel at home and abroad in view of the virus. Meanwhile, Air India suspended its flights on a Delhi-Shanghai route from 31st of January to 14th of February. Indigo Airlines also suspended its flights on the Bengaluru-Hong Kong route from 1st of February and on the Delhi-Chengdu route from 1st of February to 20th of February. Besides India, several other countries including the US, France, Japan, South Korea are making arrangements to airlift their nationals from central Hubei province and its capital city Wuhan. Over 23,000 Indian students, of which 21,000 are medical students, are studying in China. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization on Wednesday warned all the governments to take action over the SARS-like virus spreading from China. The WHO will hold an urgent meeting today on whether the viral epidemic should be declared a global health emergency, a designation that can increase international coordination. And more international news, members of the European Parliament have overwhelmingly backed the terms of the UK's departure from the European Union. The MEPs ratified the Brexit withdrawal agreement by 621 votes to 49 following an emotional debate in Brussels. Wednesday's session saw those on either side of the Brexit debate, including the UK's 73 MEPs, celebrate or lament the end of British EU membership. Remember, the UK is now due to leave the bloc at 23 hours GMT on Friday. After the UK leaves, there will be an 11-month transition period in which the two sides hope to negotiate their future economic relationships. Trade talks are expected to begin in early March. The European Parliament will also get a say in ratifying any future trade deal. And now let's talk about environment and climate change. According to the Paris Agreement, if global warming is restricted to 2 degrees Celsius, the cost of damage control due to climate change will also decrease. Climate policies such as the replacement of coal-fired power plants by windmills and solar energy, or the introduction of carbon dioxide monitoring and control have some economic costs. However, till now, temperature-induced losses in economic production has not been accounted for. The researchers have designed a computer simulation which is fed up-to-date research on economic damages driven by climate change. It processes the data and helps with the policy formulation, which helps economic growth that is in sync with the climate change impact. The nation is paying homage to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, on his 72nd death anniversary today. It was on this day in 1948 Mahatma Gandhi fell to the bullet of his assassin. The day is also observed as Martyrs' Day. A Sarv Dharma Prathna Sabha has been organized at his Samadhi, Rajghat, in the national capital. In Gujarat, all religion prayer meetings have been organized at the Sabarmati Gandhi Ashram in Ahmedabad and in Kirti Mandir, Porbandar, the birthplace of Mahatma Gandhi. President Ramnath Kovind paid homage to Mahatma Gandhi. The president penned an article on Gandhi for an English daily, wherein he wrote that Mahatma Gandhi left a constant reminder for all, that is, of unconditional love, especially for the other. The president said that he is confident that more and more citizens will discover Gandhi's true message. And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu took to Twitter to pay his tributes to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, on his death anniversary today. Naidu said that Mahatma Gandhi's life and message of peace and non-violence are relevant for all times and find resonance in every part of the world. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi also paid tributes to Mahatma Gandhi. He hoped that Gandhiji's ideology must continue to inspire all of us to build a strong and prosperous new India. And finally, foot-tapping music and soulful classical renditions reverberated at Vijay Chowk on Wednesday as the Republic Day celebrations culminated with the beating the retreat ceremony, which saw 26 performances by the bands of the armed forces and the central and state police contingents. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Breakfast with News. We'll leave you with some of the best performance from the ceremony yesterday. Thanks so much for watching.